guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope everybody is living their best life, and if you aren't, please do something today to put you on the path living your best life. So in today's video, it's just going to be another Grow Like Trees episode, and if you're new to my channel, my Grow Like Trees episodes are basically me just having a conversation with the whole internet, basically, and just trying to figure out some things that either I've personally overcome in my life or am just like reflecting on in this moment, if that makes sense. It's just a conversation. I'm in no way a licensed therapist or a psychologist, so everything that I say, take it with a grain of salt. If it helps you in your journey, then I'm happy. So anyway, in today's video, I'm going to be expanding on the fear of success, and this is a great topic to bring up. I just have my phone right here just to make sure that I'm getting all the points that I want to get. This is a great topic to bring up because lately I've noticed, at least for YouTube in general, me pursuing YouTube, I've struggled with procrastination. I'm like editing videos, filming videos, and I've struggled with, I guess, that fear of success, or that seed of a fear within me. In my mind, fear is just a false experience appearing real. If you guys haven't heard of the Trap Witch, go ahead and check out her channel. She has a YouTube channel, and I also believe she has an Instagram and a blog. I don't know. Go check her out. I love her messages and the way that she speaks. But one thing that I will always remember, how she defined fear, is a false experience appearing real. Which is true. Every little fear that we have is just something that we've programmed into our mind, either for survival or, like, some of them are instinctual fears. Obviously, like, if you put a baby on a glass table, they're going to be scared because they're thinking that they're about to fall. Kind of like that, those instinctual fears that we can't really alter. But I'm talking about fears that are literally man-made. So the fear of success, the fear of failure, the fear of not doing enough, the fear of doing too much. Like, those little things within us that has been kind of, not necessarily, I don't like saying programmed as if we're computers, but you get my point. So for me personally, I don't understand why I have the fear of success within me. And that's what I believe shadow work is there for, to ask these tough questions and reflect on these like conversations or these ideas or these thoughts to try to figure out where it stems from. So I've been doing a lot of reading, and a lot of people, or at least a lot of people that I've read over in articles and such, they always talk about like the fear of success, or all these man-made fears have been brought up either through childhood or just the way that we view this world. So if we view it in a pessimistic light, then we're probably going to always be thinking that something bad's about to happen. Optimism, we're always going to be thinking that everything is like good intentions behind like everything. You know what I mean? It's kind of hard to explain, but I hope y'all get the gist. So like I said in previous videos, I truly do believe that the fear of the unknown, the fear of success, and the fear of failure all stem from a place of just not knowing what could happen. You know what I mean? What's on the other side of success? Or is my idea of success a little bit too fantasy-like? Could it even be possible? Could it even be real? I feel like as humans in general, we just overcomplicate things, and we look at somebody else's version of success and we try to fit that into who we are and fit that into who we believe we should become. So for example, especially now during like the social media age and just seeing a lot of these glimpses into people's lives, it can become very easy for us to judge our own and start creating like timestamps of what we should accomplish by this time. So like for many people, at least for, I can only speak for myself, but from what I've like seen in the world, a lot of people, especially women, they feel this pressure to get married by a certain age, have kids by a certain age. Like, I've heard some people say, oh, I'm going to be married by 22, I'm going to have kids by 25, have like 3 kids by 25, stuff like that. And it's like, in life, nobody is supposed to be a certain place during a certain time, if that makes sense. Like, there's not specific timestamps for every single person. If that was the case, we might as well all just be robots. Just get programmed right, or a chip in the back of our head right when we're born, and just be programmed to live a certain way and just fit a human mold. The human mold of what a woman should be, a human mold of what a man should be. Just fit that mold. But as we can see, just by viewing everybody in the world, or just viewing ourselves in general, we can tell that that is not the truth. The truth is that everybody is their individual person with their individual path. Even if you've came into this world with multiple siblings at once, so if you're a twin, triplet, etc., you still have to take on your own individual path in life. And just like that saying goes, I came into this world alone, I'm gonna die alone. That type of energy. Your path is only yours. You can't try to make your path somebody else's, or try to fit the mold, or try to tell yourself that their timeline is also going to be yours. It's possible that you could follow very similar timelines to another person. That's not like false. Like, if you see the life that you want to live and somebody's just showcasing it, and you're like, okay, I can just look to them for inspiration, then go ahead and do that. There's no problem with like looking into people, or looking into people's lives, or looking up to people as inspiration. Where the problem sets in is when we begin to either belittle ourselves or think less of ourselves based on how we view others. You know what I mean? And I feel like a lot of that timeline stuff, it really comes to what we were taught as a child, whether it's through the school system or your parents. And I feel like it's mostly through the school system, because let's just be real. Most of our childhood life was spent in a school, unless you were homeschooled. Then you were spent with your parents or your guardians, whoever took care of you. But most of our childhood has been spent around and centered inside of a school. We never got a chance to just sit back and be like, whoa, what is this? Because if you really think about it, life in general is a very confusing journey, or a very confusing thing. One second you just are in your mother's womb, the next second you're out. You don't know what's going on. You don't know who anybody is. You don't even know what you are. And then you're expected to walk through this life, learn different things, figure out, and just like fit this specific mold of who society is trying to make you become. You know what I mean? That type of energy. So yeah, it's just nobody had a chance to just reset and be like, whoa, what is this? We all just got kind of indoctrinated. Is that the word? Indoctrinated? Or we all just got thrown into the mix without even knowing what's going on. We all up in the Kool-Aid, don't know the flavor type of energy. So yeah, whatever point in life that you're in, I would highly recommend just taking a step back and trying to figure out not necessarily who you are, because there is no need for a definition of who you are, of who you see yourself as, or what you see your inner being as. There is no need for explanation. There's even no need if you can't even associate a feeling with it. Just take a step back, or take a step back, and just try to reflect on that question. Who am I? What am I doing here? What might be my purpose? And what do I feel is right for me? Type of energy. I keep on saying type of energy, but really I feel like all of this fear stuff is truly based around energy, the energy of fear, because I feel like everything in this world has its own little energetic body. So when it comes to fear, that's its own little energy. So the fear of success is its own little energy, and you have to actually sit in it to understand what it truly is. There's no need to try to put words to it, but I would recommend trying to put words to what the fear of success looks like to you, of what success looks like to you, before you can even try to overcome it. Because I feel like the best way to overcome something is to fully submerge yourself within it, or fully just sit in it and reflect on what it is. The same thing yeah, just with everything, I feel like there's an energetic body. And I feel like with every single hardship on this planet that is thrown your way, you are also gifted with the power to overcome it. The only tricky part is that you're going to have to sit in it and just reflect and try to understand not necessarily why it happened to you. We don't need to try to sit too much in victim energy. It's okay to recognize if you have been victimized in any certain way, to recognize that, but I wouldn't recommend sitting in it because then that causes suffering. But reflect on it, and just sit on the other questions surrounding that. If it is an issue for you, like the victim energy, then I would recommend sitting in it for a second and reflecting on it every so often, but don't get too engrossed in it. Just like with any other energetic body that is negative, don't get fully engrossed in it and try to become that energy, if that makes sense. Recognize it for what it is, view whatever you need to view inside of it, and try to not necessarily force yourself, but flow with the energy, so then you're able to flow out of it. So yeah, I truly, as of right now in my life, I have no other words to explain what I believe the fear of success is, but I truly just feel that it's like a whole melting pot of every little thing that we've witnessed or every little thing that we've observed in our life happening to us or other people, whether it's through online or through the physical world. We are just viewing these things and taking it in and trying to fit it into who we think we should be. We're trying to put timelines on our life. If we don't meet those timelines or those deadlines, then we feel like a failure. If we have a deadline either set too close, relatively, or we have a deadline set far away but it's like a big goal, we might be a little bit insecure about it, may feel like we're unqualified to do so. I'm gonna just say this, from my eyes at least, nobody in this world is truly unqualified to do anything that we set our minds to. There's steps in place, yes, to achieve whatever we're trying to achieve, but everybody can start somewhere. Everybody has to start somewhere before they reach their end goal. So if you have any big goals or you have any life-changing things that you want to pursue and become part of your purpose, or you want to have multiple purposes in this life, which is allowed. I don't know why a lot of people say that multiple purposes isn't allowed. It's kind of weird, but just know that it's okay if you have multiple purposes in your life. Nobody is telling you straight up, unless somebody is telling you straight up, but I'm here to tell you that there's not necessarily one purpose that you're meant to have in this planet, or multiple purposes. Maybe you have no purpose. Ooh. Oh
my god, I can't breathe.
You guys, I did not mean to say that. When I said maybe you have no purpose, I was just catching a vibe. I was riding the wave of whatever I was talking about, the little purpose train and everything. I was feeling the vibe, catching the vibe. And I oversaid stuff, and I wasn't even thinking. But it's alright. Y'all understand what I was trying to say. It's okay. But I'm just saying this so then other people don't, or like people in general, don't take it like the wrong way and stuff. So yeah. And if we're really being honest, some people might see themselves as having no purpose at all in this planet. Not necessarily in a negative light, but probably in like a positive life. Maybe they just want to experience stillness in this world. Maybe they want to connect fully with their soul, their spirit, whatever. And their purpose might be to purposely have no purpose, if that makes sense. Their purpose in this life is just to experience themselves, which can be seen as no purpose at all, or like nothingness in general. I don't know. But yeah, when I said maybe you have no purpose, I was catching the vibe. I wasn't thinking. Sorry. Continue the video. Throughout your life, you're always growing and you're changing and you're evolving into different people. I really think of the different versions of ourselves that we grow throughout our whole life, whether you live till you're 80, whether you live till you're 10, whether you live till you're 100, whether you live till you're 50. Every single stage in our life, I view as different people per se. Because just like how I view different energy bodies based on different things that go on around and within us, I also view the different stages of us as like different people in our life. And that person at that stage probably had a different purpose, you know? So the best way I can explain it is that if you were a 5-year-old, your purpose on this planet isn't to become necessarily a multimillionaire. For what? You're 5. Your purpose might just be to eat some ice cream. Your purpose might just be swinging on a swing set. You know, stuff like that. And then once you're a teenager, your purpose could be, I don't know, it depends on where you're from. It could be just graduating whatever grade school you're in. So for my case, high school, graduating that. Or if you were able to go to college early, graduating college, having good grades, stuff like that. Or if it's outside of school, and you're in a sport, being a good athlete, being a great athlete, stuff like that. Our purposes change as we change, if that makes sense. And as our purposes change, and as our minds change, and as we grow, the people that we are change as well. We evolve. Hopefully, most of us hopefully evolve. Alright, so I feel that the fear of success stems from a lot of the things that we just observed and took in as the truth. And we have set that as our own little personal timestamps or deadlines of what we feel we need to get done by this certain amount of time. And even if we are able to recognize that anxiety or we're able to feel it, it's still there, and that's what causes us to procrastinate on doing things that we want to do, or doing the things continuously that we don't want to do that we know is keeping us away from our end goal. Because no matter what anybody says, everybody has some sort of goal, no matter how small. It could be a very large goal, like becoming, I don't know, like a YouTuber or something, or starting an entrepreneur business type thing. Or it could be super small, like getting out of bed, taking a shower, stuff like that. But everybody at the end of the day has some sort of goal for that day or for their life in this specific moment. And every single time that we allow or we just ignore, I like the word ignore more, ignore that anxiety within us that is keeping us from achieving that goal, or ignore that fear within us that is keeping us from achieving whatever goal we set out for that day or for our life in that moment, it can lead to just more procrastination. It can lead to more just like ignorance in general. The worst thing that you could do is ignore that fear is there, or ignore the anxiety within yourself. The best thing you can do is sit in it and reflect and try to understand why it's with you on a personal level and where you think it might have came from. And then the next step that you can take is actually devising a plan on how you're going to conquer this fear and achieve your goal. Not necessarily once and for all, because again, as we grow and evolve, our ideas of success change, we change as people, and our purpose change as well, or our purposes change as well, of what we're doing and what our intention is for that day and for our lives in that specific moment. So when you're done watching this video, the things that you took from this video today is going to be, or will probably be, I can't say is going to be like I know, but will probably be extremely different from what you may take from this video a year from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now. You know what I mean? For me, on a personal note, I've truly dealt with the fear of success when it comes to YouTube in general. I've noticed that I've procrastinated a lot when it comes to editing, filming, and all that. And I believe that part of that fear stems from the lack of not necessarily knowing what the future may hold, because you can see what you could read statistics online, or you could see or even envision in your own mind, because I feel like the mind is the most powerful thing. So if you can see it in your mind, it can happen. So whatever vision you have in your mind can become a reality. You just have to make sure you take the right actions to make it a reality. And the right actions don't necessarily have to be what other people are doing. It just can be something that you know you have to do. A lot of us, we have instinct within us, or at least intuition, little bubbles within us that say, hey, go ahead, get up and make a video. Hey, go ahead and do this. Go ahead and do that. But a lot of us choose not to listen to it because we have like a fear of receiving that goal. Right now, it's safe. It's really safe for us to just think about it and reflect on it and write it down. Be like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be able to do this. I'm going to do that. It's so safe right here, and it's so comfortable just envisioning it. But we have to get out of this comfort zone of ours where we only envision things and start putting the action forward to making it happen. And we live in like a time right now where people are like addicted to instant gratification. So if something doesn't happen right away, they feel like they failed. And then that might lead them to believing that every other thing that they try to pursue, they're going to fail as well. But we have to start seeing the power in delayed gratification, and we have to start seeing the power and truly seeing things through, not for the idea of what success might look for us, but just for the journey in general. I feel like for me, my personal definition of success is the journey itself. Being able to wake up every day and put a step forward, one step here, or to try to build a whole sidewalk, one stone here, one stone here. That's success to me. That journey is success. Because once you get to that end of the goal, it might not be as lavish as you imagine. And I feel like that's one reason why a lot of us, we keep ourselves from being successful by procrastinating and by downplaying our achievements, downplaying our abilities, downplaying ourselves in general. We're just ignoring ourselves in general. You know, I feel like that's probably the reason, because we're so focused on how lavish the goal looks in our mind, or how exciting it might feel just to think about it, that when it actually comes time to putting in the work, it gets scary because it's becoming real. I feel like once stuff becomes real, that's when people get scared and start pulling back, because we don't want to be disappointed. Because what if we get to the end, and what if we allow that to be the end, and then there's just nothing left? I feel like that's probably one of the big reasons why we hold ourselves back, is because we just continuously think that there is supposed to be an end. You don't have to always look at things as a beginning or an end. You don't have to look at things of having a set beginning or a set end, or having to meet certain deadlines at this time. Start looking at everything as a journey, and your life will begin to flow as one as well. And then instead of looking at your goals as end stories, or as end marks or end goals, start looking at it as like little destination points. So you're on your journey, which is called life, and you have a destination point here. You're all the way over here, and you're just slowly walking, but one day you are going to get to that destination point. Just continue walking. Don't stop. Don't look at the destination point and then turn around and try to backtrack, because no matter what you're doing, you are continuing to walk through this life. No matter what, time is going to continue to move forward, whether or not you will too. So as long as you are walking at the same pace, or at the correct pace for yourself, for your life, you will always get that destination. It might not look exactly how you expected it to look, but it is going to be perfect for you at that time. So just keep on walking, allow time to do what it does, and one day you're going to get to that destination point. Where many of us fail, or many of us believe what we fail, is that we believe that we're only supposed to go down one path in order to get to our goal. we're only supposed to take the path that everybody else has taken, or everybody else has said that they've taken. Because again, if you're going off of things that are based online, people can be lying. You don't know. So it's really not a reliable source to be taking after. Or even in regular day life, people exaggerate a lot. A lot. So you're going to have to do things on your own. Technically, you're going to have, of course it's good to take advice from people that have been where you want to be, but also understand that your journey is not going to be like theirs. It's not. You're going to have different challenges to overcome, different obstacles to face, and that's fine. So a lot of us, we believe that we're only supposed to take one path to get to our destination, which we see as our goals and what we believe success to be. But it's okay if you get off path for a second, as long as you keep on going down your correct path. As long as you continue to take actions towards your goal, it's fine. Stop stressing and worrying that you're always going to be doing something wrong, when there's not necessarily a right or wrong way to get to where you need to be. And I needed to hear that myself. I feel like the best advice that we give, or the best advice that we need to hear, we just need to hear it from ourselves first. Because that is something that I've really been struggling with. Just this idea that I'm supposed to go down every little path that everybody else has taken in order to get to my destination, or in order to get to my little checkpoint goal. But it's not. And I have to get out of this mind space where I'm like, okay, my goal is to be a successful YouTuber. My goal is to reach 20,000 subscribers on this channel and my beauty page. Okay, it's going to happen. I just have to make sure that I'm consistently doing what I said I was going to do. But where I kept on messing up at is that as soon as I'm like, okay, I'm not seeing what I need to see yet, instant gratification. Okay, I'm not meeting these checkpoints at this time like this person. Comparison. Oh, I'm not where I'm supposed to be yet. Okay, who's to tell me where I'm supposed to be at this set date, at this time, when it comes to this, when it comes to my goals? Absolutely no one. Everybody's journey is different, and I had to understand that and actually fully comprehend that, because it's one thing to try to understand something and another thing to comprehend that and take it in as like one of your truths, or take it in as something that you truly understand. Because I understood the concept like everybody's journey is different, but I never put it into action. So what I chose to do was I chose to procrastinate on my goals and procrastinate on my dreams and desires, and not take the actions forward to get to where I need to be, because I was like afraid that I wasn't doing it correctly, that I was doing something wrong, which caused me to do the worst thing I could do, which was not move. The worst thing that you can do whenever it comes to your goals or your dreams or your little checkpoints, let's think of them as checkpoints, not end goals, when it comes to life, is stop moving. Whenever we stop moving in the direction of where we're trying to be, we're not even moving backwards. Time is going to continue moving forward, but we're just stuck. Like we are just sticking ourselves to one particular place. Maybe it's out of comfort, maybe it's out of fear. Those two could be interchangeable if you want. They don't have to necessarily be separate from each other. They could be one. The little fear as well as the comfort. Fear can power comfort in a way, because if you're afraid to move forward and you're comfortable where you're at, you're going to continue to comfort yourself where you're at in order to rationalize that fear, make it seem like it's supposed to be there. But yeah, life is going to always be moving forward whether we stay still or not. That's not saying that you should never ever calm down and stay still, but also know that when you're intentionally settling down and intentionally calming down, you're still moving in the direction of your journey, or you're still moving in the direction of your little checkpoint or your goal. where you're taking physical action towards your goal, you can see it as looking like this towards the direction. And then when you're taking spiritual, you can look at it as this. It might not feel like that, but I truly do believe that what happens in the spiritual, or what happens in your own spiritual journey, it speeds up the process when it comes to the physical. Because anything that you can see in your mind, or anything that you can feel in the spirit world, or not necessarily feel, anything that you experience as a soul in the spirit world, it translates to the physical reality. Even if you don't believe in souls, anything that you can imagine, anything that you can put energy into in the energy world, or in your imagination, in your mind, you can like see it come to fruition. You will begin to see things in your physical world just start to line up for you, and it's just going to seem crazy, irrational, but it's not. It's just you moving in the direction of your end goal. So I know I went all over the place. I hope that I kind of stayed a little bit on topic. I hope that you guys were able to take something from this video. Again, it's just a simple conversation that I'm having with you guys of things that I personally dealt with when it comes to the fear of success. So procrastination being one of them, and this idea that I'm doing something wrong, and then as a result of doing something wrong in my mind, I do the worst thing you can possibly do and just stand still, not even work on it in like the spiritual world or just reflect on it, but just literally ignore it. Just ignore. That's the worst thing you can do when it comes to going after or becoming in alignment with what you desire and your goals, your aspirations, your little checkpoints in life. And the next thing that is the worst thing that I've noticed that I've done is look at my goals as some big thing that just ends. Like once I get there, it ends. So there's no more to like pursue. There's no more to get excited over. So yeah, I hope that you guys learned something from that. Before you guys go, I do have 3 questions that I want you guys to write down in a journal or a piece of paper beside you, because this is shadow work, so we have to truly understand what is going on within us. So you guys can hear me talk all day, you guys can watch a bunch of different videos, but it's important for you yourself to put in that work. And the first step that you can do is by writing it or typing it or doing whatever you feel comfortable with doing. So go ahead and get out a piece of paper and answer these questions. So the first question to ask yourself is, what is my definition of success in this moment? What is my definition of success in this moment? The second question to ask yourself is, in the past, when I accomplished something, did I feel proud or anxious, and why? In the past, when I accomplished something, did I feel proud or anxious, and why? The third question is, do I feel like I deserve to be successful? Do I feel like I deserve to be successful? And make sure you go ahead and explain that as well. So yeah, that's all that I feel inspired to say in this moment. In the future, I probably am going to make more videos similar to this, or even more videos on this topic specifically, because again, like I say, as we grow and change as people, our ideas on things, our personalities, not necessarily our personalities, but how we present ourselves in this world, just our mind frame on certain things change as well. So look out for an updated video on that. Alright, so that's the end of today's video. If you liked it, go ahead and give this video a big thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and click that notification bell so you're notified every single time that I post. With that being said, I hope you all live your best life. My goal for this video is to at least help one person on their journey, and if I helped you, I'm so happy that I was able to help you along this journey that we all take it together, you know. So with that being said, I hope you guys all live your best lives. Peace, love, and light to you all.